I can't say that I was prepared for this to be so good. Oshi no Ko is something like me 3 months ago wouldn't have even thought of watching. I wouldn't have even looked in this direction, to be honest with you. But man, am I glad that I'm more open-minded now. Bro, the first episode of this shit was a masterpiece. Like, it was amazing. It's actually a super unique concept for an anime too. I also heard this was sad as hell, so considering the fact that I'm fresh off Asylum Voice and Your Name, I might as well keep the depression train going, right? Spoiler warning for those who haven't watched it yet, I'm just gonna run through the first episode because this needs to be talked about. The concept of this show is pretty cool. It's pretty unique in my opinion. It starts with our main character who is this doctor that's obsessed with this Japanese pop idol named Ai. And I'm not gonna lie to you, this is a little weird at first because this nigga's a little old to be idolizing a pop star. But he said it's not like how we think it is, so I'm gonna take his word for it. At least he's a respectable fan, unlike some niggas. Man, I hate that nigga. We're gonna talk about him later. So this doctor cares for this girl, this one girl at his hospital that has cancer that's also a super fan of Ai. She unfortunately passes on. Ai at this point is pregnant on hiatus, and he's her gynecologist. Like she showed up in his office pregnant, and he ended up being her gynecologist on some lucky shit. So he's just making sure that the pregnancy process is smooth and making sure that those babies end up safe and healthy. Cool, but not really. Apparently, Ai has this super stalker ass fan who has the absolute drop on her ass. I mean, on some weird shit. Straight up like, hi, Kevin, like type shit. So one day the doctor is on his way home. He gets pressed by this nigga in the hoodie talk about your eyes gynecologist, huh? Like, damn, brother. You ain't even try to hide it. First off, how do you know she pregnant? Second off, how do you know her government name? It was never released to the public. Third off, how do you know she was at this hospital? And fourth off, how do you know that I was assigned to her? So he tweaks out and ends up EA shoulder charging this nigga off a World Frame Link off a cliff and kills this nigga in cold blood. But something weird happens to the doctor. He wakes up and he's reborn as one of the 2 twins that I had. And also the girl that passed on that had cancer earlier is his sister. So she was reborn as well. And they retain their memory, so they both have full memory of their past lives. So that's the basic layout so far. One thing that I really like about this anime is this depiction of how fame is in reality. I think it's a really realistic take on the Hollywood style life. Even though Ai is a pop idol, we see her career in music and we see how dedicated she is to it. It isn't making her the most money. It isn't making her the money she desires. And she's doing it, she's trying to get more money to take care of her kids, which is a cool, admirable thing. Aqua, which is the reincarnated doctor, basically makes this deal with this director of this movie to help his mother get more work. And eventually Ai's career was beginning to skyrocket as she booked this really big show. Now, at this point, we like an hour and some change in. So I'm thinking like, damn, I heard this shit was sad as hell. I wonder why they said that. This is great and this isn't sad at all so far. I really should have shut my stupid ass mouth because, man, this next scene is an absolute gut punch. So this is the day of the big show and someone knocks on the door and Ai goes to check it, and it's the same crazy nigga that killed the doctor, same stalker. He stabs Ai, and what comes next is some of the most heartbreaking shit that's ever been on my screen. So this guy stabs her and is mad she like quote unquote actually don't care for her fans, and he asks her does she even remember him. She says his name and tells him he appreciates the Star Sand, the gift that he gave her during one of her event meetups, and she tells him that it's still displayed in her living room. And he just tweaked out and realized like, damn, I'm fucked up. He storms out. You would think that would be it. Like, it's already sad as hell. It goes into like a backstory of how she never was able to truly say she loves things and love people. And she explains how she never really truly told someone that she loved them, and it's always been a lie because she had no like capability of loving anything. So it cuts right back to her dying in front of her 2 kids, and she says there's something I have to tell to both of you. And she says I love you for the first time, and she truly meant it. She said she truly meant it, and shortly after she just dies right there on the spot. Man, I can't, dog. Man, this scene had me staring at the ceiling. Like, I was shocked how beautiful this scene was, and honestly, it made me completely fall in love with this show. I love when an anime gets like emotion out of me, but man, this shit was close. This shit was close for my eyes getting a little watery in this mug, I ain't gonna lie. But the show didn't end off on the saddest note. The first episode didn't end off on the saddest note. Aqua and Ruby are grown up now, and a couple minutes later, Aqua say, hey, he won't smoke with any and everybody that was involved with this. And he's plotting to get revenge against his father. I must say, I'm in love with this direction. And I love this first episode. This is one of the best first episodes in anime history, right beside Yu Yu Hakusho, in my opinion. If this episode is a sign of how things gonna be in the whole series, my nigga, I am ready. I'm super excited for what this show has coming, and I will be watching this. I had to talk about this though, because I just finished it like 3 hours ago. I had to talk about this one. Also, let me know down below what you think of this. But Hollywood can be an extremely nasty place. And at every corner, there's someone trying to exploit you, and being a well-known face is a dangerous risk in general. As someone that often sees how like evil the combination of Hollywood and the internet is, I've never seen an anime effectively portray it until I watched Oshi no Ko. Oshi no Ko is an extremely unique anime, and truthfully, it's one of my favorites of the season. This anime perfectly encapsulates the era that we currently live in today. Its depiction of the internet and how nasty of a place it can truly be, and with me being a musician and a content creator, I feel like this anime resonates with me way more than any other anime that I've watched. It's truthfully shocking how a show like this could be so attention-grabbing and good at the same time, especially since this show is a show that I probably wouldn't have watched last year around this time. But that's enough intro, gang. Let's get straight into the recap and the review. So you know how we do things right here. We start off with the story. The story of Oshi no Ko is phenomenal. It's kind of wild because it's so good that sometimes I forget the main goal, since I'm so invested on what's happening on the screen right now. I did a quick analysis on the first episode a while back, so if you want to go back and check that out, but I'm going to do a quick overview right here. So our story follows our main duo, Aqua and Ruby, who are actually two super fans of this idol named Ai. They both died in their previous lives, and they were reborn as Ai's twins. Long story short, Ai gets killed, and her son Aqua vows to get revenge on whoever is responsible for her death. The basic overview of the rest of the story is basically that Aqua and Ruby are going to the school for actors, musicians, idols, etc. And Ruby is working towards becoming a big idol like Ai, and Aqua is looking out for her while also taking jobs to get closer to find out who got Ai killed, who he believes is his father. And bro, they do a damn good job at making this story feel as real as possible. The topics that they explore in this anime are rough, and this show actually takes some examples from like real life events, which is pretty cool and pretty sad when you think about it. The whole thing with Akane was extremely heavy. It perfectly shows how cruel people can be on the internet and how hard it can really push you over the edge if you don't have the mental fortitude to actually ignore it. Watching this innocent girl who made one minuscule mistake that was forgiven by the person she made the mistake towards just go into a spiral of depression because people on the internet is like a really heartbreaking experience to witness. Once I heard get up on that ledge of that ridge, completely ready to jump off and end it all, was sad as shit. And finding out shortly after that it was based on a true story, but the person that it was actually based off of is actually gone and actually did it is even sadder. I've always believed that you should just ignore it and turn your phone off, and I still do, but I totally understand how things can end up like this, especially since the internet is so vital for success in some way, shape, or form. If you're in modern day Hollywood or in entertainment, it can be damn near impossible to not accidentally read something or get curious. They didn't hold back either. It was just like real life. They was telling her to die, telling her that she was ugly, all that shit. This shit was rough to watch. Kaori in the story is really sad too. It sucks because her story is like all too common. They deeply explored the concept of failure and rejection in the Hollywood culture and what it actually looks like and how embarrassing it could actually be. Especially when you're actually talented, that's when it hurts 10 times more. And Kana is extremely talented. It showed how much failure in this space could leave you doubting your skills and abilities to the point where you start casually devaluing yourself, and sometimes her case, unconsciously. She didn't even realize she was doing it. She even got to the point where she wouldn't even accept praise from other people, and she was really scared to perform with the new Bikomachi because she was scared of bringing other people into her own failures. She didn't want the group to experience the same. Gang, I'm not gonna lie to you, that finale was hard. Like that shit was perfect. The new Bikomachi's performance was great. The whole set was great. The songs were good. Seeing Ruby shut that one nigga up that I was talking about, the old Bikomachi Y, and it was good. Having Aqua do that dance with them glow sticks like him and Ruby did in episode 1 had me crying laughing, gang. Oh, he was hitting that bitch fuck. He was really hitting that shit. I was smiling during the whole performance for sure. That shit was genius. Seeing Kana and Aqua get back cool was pretty solid. Miyako threw Kana a lob and a half on that ride back home, dog. Shouts out to Miyako for that. Them setting up the next season and the project with Kana, Aqua, and Akane all like being part of the same movie makes me really excited for what they got coming next. They really about to beef over this nigga Aqua. And Akane was like, she was tweaking she showed a little bit of her crazy side. This finale was legit perfect. Like, I have no gripes or no problems with it. I'm so excited for what's coming next, and I know we're in good hands at this point. The story did a lot of shit right. A lot of shit. There's some really cool ass moments in this anime. One of my favorites is them helping clean up Akane's image in the public eye. It was so cool to see her get redemption, because normally you don't see that in modern day. When someone makes a mistake online, they don't get any type of chance to make any like redemption for themselves or speak out for themselves or have anyone stand up for them. Also, her studying Ai and her changing into character instantly and revealing those eyes was like a golden moment. That moment was so raw. I was so mad the episode ended there. Like, that was a perfect setup. She had that nigga Aqua damn near, you know.
I'm coming on your ass, boy.
The story in Oshi no Ko has a lot of moving parts in it that are being paired with phenomenal character writing. Makes for a great viewing experience in my opinion. Speaking of characters, let's move on to the characters and the character interactions. That character writing in this show is crazy good. I thoroughly enjoy every character in this show, so I'm going to run through some of my favorites. Aqua is an amazing character, phenomenal. He's probably one of the best like modern day MCs. He's probably up there amongst the best. It's crazy because he's not necessarily an angel, but he has a really good heart. He's just aligned his revenge with his purpose in life. And he's not going to let anyone get in the way of it. But he's not heartless, like I said. You can actually see him admitting himself that he's actually pretty vulnerable and he has feelings. He just doesn't show them very often or talk about them. We see it a lot through his actions though. Stuff like him saving Akane and him leading the charge to put that video out for her to help clean up her image, him inviting Mimcho to the new Bikomachi group after hearing how passionate she was about it. Also him putting on Pion's mask and looking out for his sister's group. He didn't even do it for himself. He was just looking out for 3 people he genuinely cared about. His combo with Karina telling her how much he enjoys her and supports her. But like I said, he ain't no angel, my nigga. My nigga Aqua is a super manipulative nigga, gang. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's wild. It's wild as hell. Using Akane after she was about to off herself is wild as fuck. But at least he was honest with her and understands that he genuinely cares about her and her well-being. And he was taking all these acting jobs and using the industry just to smoke his pops anyway. So folks definitely got a little savage in them anyway, so that's expected. Ruby is extremely likable. She's a really hard worker who's super ambitious. I like how she used her past life to motivate her to live her life to the fullest now. And I love how motivational she can be towards other people. Seeing how she picked up Karina before they first show was a super sweet moment, reassuring her that failure and falling down is a part of the process and letting her know that she's seen what she's capable of, telling her not to worry and just give it her all. She's super committed to being a big idol like she reminds me so much of me that I'm rooting for her type shit. I always admire an undying and damn near delusional ambition, and Ruby 1000% has that. Akane is a good character too. I like her character. She's really like an innocent soul in this very evil ass industry. She's extremely talented though, in an industry where a lot of people will tell you that you don't belong, and she's still there and really shining for real. I love how she sprung back to life after all that drama. It really shows how strong she is like mentally and in her heart. I'm glad she didn't jump off that bridge, man. That shit was about to break my heart for real, and I'm really like, prayers go out to the family of the person this was based off of. That was really messed up. Karina is a great character too, man. I can relate to her a decent amount as well. She's extremely talented, but that talent doesn't always immediately translate to success, so it discouraged her and made her believe that she wasn't good enough to do what she truthfully wanted to do. Whether it was lack of marketing, bad marketing, she didn't get the initial success that she wanted, and her success from her childhood career didn't carry on to her adulthood. Shit. Honestly, that's just like my YouTube journey. My first few months made my goof ass think that this shit was sweet. Now I'm like 7-8 months in, and it's hard to even get close to those initial numbers that I got. And the crazy thing is, my videos are getting better.
No.
I've definitely been in her position. Shit, I'm in it now. But I know that this is going to turn eventually, just like her luck is going to turn eventually, no matter what the world tells me. I really vibe with Karina and her personality because she's just like me. Miyako is super cool. I think she's an underrated character. I will always appreciate how she stepped up for Ruby and Aqua. Because in the past life, like not the past life, but like when Ruby and Aqua were babies, she did not like her situation at all. But after what happened to Ai and how she's seeing how damaged they were, she changed her heart really fast. And she raised up to the occasion and created a healthy and stable home just for them both and raised them and did a great job while raising them. She's super understanding, super supportive of the two, and I really love her character throughout the story. Now let's move on to the looks, presentation, and music. I really like this show's art style and character design. The eyes in this show they're so cool. I really like how diverse they are and how like the color of them kind of represents the character's personality. Karina's is red and she has a foul mouth and she's like angry all the time. Aqua's is blue and he's like kind of cold and like kind of like nonchalant. Ruby is pink. She's very vibrant and like animated and expressive. Like it's really cool how they color coded it. The animation is pretty clean too. Especially during the performances, the animation of the characters is very bouncy and alive, and I like it because it helps make these characters feel even more expressive and more real. I really like what they did with the visuals of this show. The music is very minimalist besides the performances. Like the piano tracks, they're here. They're here. There's some sad shit. There's some sad songs in here. The intro slaps, but it's no surprise Yoasobi. So I knew that was gonna hit. The outro music pisses me off, I'm not gonna lie. I just discovered the outro is like a full song, but every time the outro come on, it's always a cliffhanger. So it makes me mad when I hear the beginning of it. The overall song is actually really good. I actually like the outro. Overall, this show looks and sounds great in my opinion. I must say this anime definitely isn't for everybody. Shit, a while ago, I probably would have said that it's not for me, but shit, look at me now. Oshi no Ko is definitely a great watch for anybody that has unconventional dreams. Like if you want to do YouTube, music, or an actor, I think you would enjoy this show simply because of how real it feels, and it shows you essentially what you're getting yourself into and what it's going to look like in a modern day. Otherwise, if you like slice of life anime, I think you'll like it. It's super interesting. I'm glad that I went and I seen what all the hype was about. 1000% worth it. And I can't wait to see what you guys got coming next. I ain't gonna lie. I'm mad this show is over actually. But thank you to everyone that worked on this. Thank you for all the hard work y'all did. The voice actors, the manga authors, the manga artists. Thank you, the Foley artists, the Yoasobi for doing the intro. Thank you for everyone who had a hand in this. Y'all did a really amazing job. New camera angle, I guess. Just trying this out. It won't be here for the whole video. Oshi no Ko is like one of them shows that like you would have never caught me watching back in like 2017 when I first started watching anime again type shit. Back then, anime was really just fight scenes and like transformations, if that makes sense. Because I was just watching nothing but shonen at the time. It's like a reflection of what I was watching, like my thought process. It's crazy that like big 2024, me of all niggas, covering the season 2 of a show about like acting and J-pop and shit. Like it's just wild. After season 1 of Oshi no Ko, I was like, damn, there's no way this is anime of the year damn near. Season 1 did a phenomenal job at like kind of establishing the core cast of characters and giving them enough challenge to essentially let them grow each episode, if that makes sense. Also, I think it did a pretty nice job at progressing the 2 main goals of the show. Ruby's goal to honor her mom, and try to like sell out a dome. Aqua's goal to smoke the nigga that set up his OG. And after season 1 was all said and done, I kind of wonder like, how much better could this show actually get? Gangsta, let's find out. We talk about season 2 today. So, the little Tokyo Blade arc as a whole was fire, my nigga. I didn't really expect them to fully flesh out like the full like play making or play creating process, if that makes sense. Like obviously, it makes sense to go like through the rehearsals where like niggas' mindsets were before the play, and like seeing them each individually try to own their respective roles type shit. But I did not expect them to go as far as like showing like the mangaka herself and like kind of butting heads with the playwright himself and having this conflict pertaining to the balance of the source material manga that the play was based off of versus just like converting and writing a good watchable play based off the material and making drastic changes to it, if that makes sense.
今からでも直してもらえますか?
もちろんですが、どのあたりを?
全部.
Bro, when I seen this shit the first time, shit was so fucking funny, cause she really sat there watching these niggas act this out in awe, folks. And she say, oh my God, you guys are so wonderful at acting. And then she turned to the playwright, eyes wide open and standing like Ashton Denty in the backfield, and said, but this writing is horse ass. like, damn, nigga, it's the first episode. It's one of those. That's what we own, G. The crazy thing about both the manga author Abiko and the scriptwriter Goa, like their perspectives, is like no one is really in the wrong for real. I mean, obviously, Abiko is like carry herself like a child in that manner. She could have delivered that a little better and maybe not take it all out on Goa because he's not like at fault for real, like to keep it a being. But a creator does have a right to be mad if their source material is being like disrespected in their eyes, and if they don't feel like their frustrations are being heard about the script writing process. Like that's perfectly valid. And Goa, on the other hand, just wrote what he could based off his past experiences and the messages that he got from his editors, which was far from the original messages that Abiko had. But by the time it got to him, it went through a chain of people, and the original message that Abiko had was like completely different from what they filtered it down to be. you can't blame her for like actually voicing specifically what she doesn't like about the script if it never got to him how like she said it. And you can't blame him for writing the script based off of that watered down message and unclear message that he received. This could have easily been like avoided if they just communicated directly, but that's not how it works in like Hollywood and like play scripting, playwriting and shit like that, or like turning manga into media. That's not how it works, apparently, from what I learned from the show, because I ain't really know that shit myself. I like how they resolved it, too. It's cool to see that Akane played, like, a part in getting Aqua to truly see, like, Akane really, like, she really put all this shit in motion for real. Her trying to get Aqua to truly see how beautiful, like, theater is, and then Aqua, like, seeing that play and seeing Go wrote that play, and he enjoyed that shit so much. And once that happened, that nigga Aqua started making plays, folks. My nigga Aqua was making plays this season. The scene, bro, oh my God. The scene was Sensei, the shorty that made the show that Melt like bombed on. Sensei pulled up to Abiko's house and seeing her like running on fumes and shit hit a little different for me personally. I'm not gonna lie. Now I'm about to yap a little bit, but I promise you this is extremely on topic because I'm just comparing myself to her. This scene that Abiko and Sensei were having is literally the same conversation I had with my OG a while ago. Me and Abiko have very, very similar ideologies when it comes to what we do as creators. If any of you have been subbed to me for over 2 years, first off, thank you so much, gang. You're a real one. And second off, what the fuck is wrong with you? But my fault. If any of y'all been subbed for the past 2 years, you can see that I've kind of had like a kind of wild like output rate, especially for like the videos, the type of videos that I do. Like no bullshit, I did not go outside. Like literally. I used to watch a show, script for the video, edit, and then post and damn it all same day. If it's like a 12 episode show, and if I couldn't post it all on the same day, I just wouldn't sleep until it was finished. Like that's kind of how I operated. And I kept this kind of schedule up for like 2.5 years, and it's just super unhealthy, folks. Like I would not recommend anybody do this shit. To the point where I would unconsciously put in like 6 to 8 hours of editing and scripting a day. That even goes from like for my longer videos, like my JJK review, my ALT review, those videos like 40, 50 minutes long. And even the Dragon Balls, that's like, latest one was like 1:30. I would do that shit every day unconsciously and like wouldn't be caring about my health at all. Actually, there was one time I was really sick working on that JJK video. I edited that video for damn near weeks. And I remember even, it was like my birthday in that span of time. Which I don't really care about anyway, to keep it a bean. I think it's just another day. That's it, neither here nor there. I literally didn't do anything but sit there and edit for another 6 to 8 hours and ignored the fact that it was my birthday, like completely. Like it just went by that fast. And I'm doing all this myself, like pumping out all these videos while I'm still making music, trying to promote it and posting short form content on my music and my YouTube across several platforms, like trying to promote shit. Like I'm doing a very big amount of work in a small amount of time. You feel me? That's kind of what I'm saying in all this. Abiko is doing the exact same shit that I was doing. So I guess it was kind of like healing. Just sounds so crazy watching the anime here. Like it ain't that deep, right? But nah, real shit though. It kind of felt like it was healing. That's what it really was. It's healing in the sense to see like how my unhealthy habits can have an effect on someone else that's like just looking at me and just kind of seeing what I look like from my OGs and a lot of my close homies that talk to me and like be like, you need to cut that shit out. Like from their perspective, like it's crazy. Shit, I even made a song about this. If anybody that's in a similar situation and like feels like that, it's called Help, by the way. I'll link it down in the description if anybody wants to check it out. Anyway, it's wild how much this scene really showed me about myself. Me and Abiko were so locked into this, like, I need to get this done, and I'm going to do everything by myself mindset, that we kind of just ignored the world and our own personal health in the process. And it's really a blessing that she has Sensei, the same way that I have my OG and my brothers and my sisters and my close homies to, like, step in and tell us, like, hey, yo, this shit ain't good for you. You need to care for yourself. This scene in particular is one of the 2 scenes that made me actually like face some of my personal problems for. Like, this shit was actually spectacular. I love this scene. Bro, I love how Aqua gave her a ticket to go see that same play, because, man, that one action saved the entire production. And I like how this action snowballed and led her into talking with Ryder. Ryder really having her face reality of her play script is like not gonna be that good because she's not a playwriter. Speaking of the talk with Ryder,
こっちはジジイのの1本や2本る覚悟で仕事してるんです
Gang, what the f did you just say? Nah, wait a minute, man. No job in the universe should have you willing to mouthwork some old and withered wee-wee like that, bro. Like, relax, man. There's no job that pays that well, brother. Nah, send this nigga to the Diddy party for this nigga write a freaky But anyway, all of this happening resulted in them like actively working together, like Abiko and Goa actively working together and making the script, which is probably what should have happened in the first place. They should have had Abiko and Goa just, talking directly anyway. But now Goa understands why she was so mad at his script, and Abiko has seen Goa's script writing brilliance firsthand, and now she wants that same feel for her manga. Boom, problem solved. Little communication, little game. I think the episode's called Game of Telephone, if I'm not mistaken, which is kind of raw. It's raw how they did that. Back to the actors with the new script, and now they low on time, and now the script is good, so the show is really entirely up to them. It's really up to them to like own their roles as these characters. And I love this sequence leading up to the play as well. But I think we all know what specific part about this sequence that I want to talk about personally. Nigga, that whole emotional acting scene for Aqua was godlike and unexpected.
Aqua 君、もしお母さんが死んじゃったらどうする？
Bro, when Kana leaned in and asked him this exact question, my brain was like, oh, like literally. See, Kana, unfortunately, my mom is dead, so thanks. I appreciate it, actually. But all jokes aside, everything that followed this was absolutely spectacular. Aqua has been a pretty cool and composed nigga for pretty much the entire show at this point, aside of like when he first seen I Die, which is expected, he's a kid. Obviously. During this sequence, we got to see more of a human side of this nigga. And when Kana told him to think of what makes him happy, he actually did it. And this showed us like one of the very few times like we seen this nigga smile. We don't see that very often from Aqua. But when this nigga in their voice said, "Don't you dare enjoy yourself," and they showed the symbolism of like a black figure, which symbolizes negativity probably, grabbing him and kind of like burning the image of his mother's dying smile to his head, my nigga, my jaw dropped completely. And then to even further the intensity of this scene, so they show him kind of lose that composure that he's known for having at this point. And it really made this scene like spectacular. It made this scene like stick with me a lot. Bro, I already like Aqua as a character, but this just makes him even better because he shows like the flaws in his mindset and the way he lives and his ideologies. I'm sorry to be my brother, we have to bond ass nigga, but do you know how like relevant this shit is in the black community? Like dead ass here, like no joke here. Aqua suffers from PTSD. He pretended to heal from it so other people don't worry about him. Boy, if this ain't me, I don't know what the fuck is. Like dead ass. Two things I'ma do is act like the pain don't exist, and I'm damn sure not gonna show you that I'm going through it. This whole time I was just screaming at the screen like, you just like me for real. When he said not to alert his sister because he don't want her to think about her past pain and she should just look towards the future, indirectly meaning that he's gonna shoulder that burden by himself and not tell anybody about the pain, I was like, you just like me for real. And then when he started like blaming himself for shit that was completely out of his control, letting that inner negativity kind of convince him that it was all his fault, I was like, yo, you just like... This is the other scene that kind of gave me like a therapeutic vibe when it comes to like talking about it and just watching it, because the mindsets that these characters have are along the mindsets that I actually live with while my day. Like, no bullshit. And shout out to Akane, bro. Akane played that role in this whole ordeal too. I need me and Akane in my life, fool, personally. She definitely got a lot of shine this season, but we'll talk about that after I cover the play itself. Speaking of, the actual Tokyo Blade stage production was so cool, bro, because at this point we're kind of looking out for like two stories here, because there's a lot of conflict and tension building up to like this whole show, right? You got Aqua trying to achieve happiness and actually be able to live without like his past trauma hindering him. And leading up right before this play, the nigga was still throwing up in the makeup room. Kana and Akane are in this like little rivalry where they both like secretly admire each other and they think so highly of each other, but they won't say it, and they both want to outperform each other, indirectly making each other better as actors and making the performance better overall. Mel is trying to overcome his self-doubt after shitting the sheets on Sweet Today, that's the name of the show, while getting bullied by a nigga on the cast. And I don't know how my goof ass forgot about this, but the creator of Sweet Today is there in the audience, and she hates this nigga for sticking up the place with her work, which is, you know, is justified. And he's just trying to impress her too. There's a lot riding on this performance and the story of the play itself and how they channel these problems into their roles. They do that to make this show good, and they have to put on a good show. That's another part of the story you gotta think about. The performance itself was amazing. I like how they pretty much showed us every part of the play. We got the like actual story of the play like we were in the audience, but we got as behind the scenes as you could possibly get. Melt's fight scene was pretty cool too, man. I really liked the advice Aqua gave him. It made a lot of sense. If you're naturally good at something, instead of trying to improve on everything at once, it's better to just zero in on something you shine at to stand out and then trying to grow all your other skills over time. And that's exactly what he did. That nigga turned to Sin Cara, put on the show his athletic ability, nigga was stupid. Nah, the visuals in this scene were so spectacular, by the way, man, like, oh my God. Oshi no Ko does a phenomenal job at like visualizing like these emotional breakthroughs niggas be having. And man, this is a really good example of that. The Kana versus Akane scene was like done super well too. It's really just like the way people said in the show. It really just shows like every single aspect of their respective personalities just like clash through their acting. Kana has hella showmanship and she does a really good job expressing herself under the spotlight when the spotlight is on her. When she's the focus, she shines a lot. But at first she was kind of like backing down to like make the play more digestible, I guess. But Akane and Aqua knew this, and they knew that that's not what she wanted to do at the end of the day. So Aqua pretty much showed her through his actions, like mid-scene, and basically said, hey, leave the filling in shit to me. You go out there and shine like you supposed to do, you goofy. And she did. And we learned a little bit more about her upbringing as a result, too. Aqua's defining scene in this Playboy, oh man, it was well done. Masterpiece, if I might say. And I like how the writing ain't make this shit all rainbows and butterflies. Like, nah. This nigga ended up taking a horrible route. This route is super unhealthy that he took. So instead of using acting as like this positive outlet to get out emotions, to vent out his trauma, he literally uses acting to remind himself of trauma, like remind himself of the trauma so he can stay locked in on his goal to smoke that nigga that set up I. He just like me. This is really good character writing, because there was no way that Aqua was just gonna have a sudden turnaround like that when he had this hate and malice in his heart since that day that I died. Like, it's been too long. There's no way you just turn around and getting convinced like that. The scene where the princess got revived and he played his imagination of him as a kid, and then they turned the camera around and I was sitting there alive. Oh my God. The nigga's blacked on this bitch, folks. Like, oh my God. This scene is absolutely beautiful, folks. I don't want my heart to feel anything. I'm not gonna lie. That's a horrible thing to say. I don't want my heart to feel anything. But shit, this even got me on a rewatch of this shit. And this shit was just godlike, bro. Absolute cinema peak, bro. The wind down for the Tokyo Blade play was raw too, because they definitely had some surprises still in store. I always wonder why this was Aqua's move, like specifically. Cause I know, his goal is to, work his way through like Hollywood essentially to meet execs and find out who truly set up I. But I always wonder why this play specifically. I thought Aqua was just trying to get his name out so he get more opportunities, so he can meet more directors and shit. But nah, this is a mission. He knew what he wanted before he even stepped foot on that stage. When I found out that him and the lead actor would have siblings, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Whoa, hold on. What's that Shaq mean? Nigga, excuse me? And then even more shocking news that his dad that he been looking out and getting revenge for died. Bro, like the storytelling didn't die down one bit. Gang. And another relatable scene, bro. When Aqua asked himself if it was okay to be happy and be free, man, go this scene, because it's wild. Because I be asking myself the same thing, and my brain be like, hell no, bitch ass nigga. My fault. That's unhealthy, bro. It's not. I shouldn't be laughing at this, but you good. The next part is the B Komachi trip, and this was amazing too. So first things first, we ain't see that much of Ruby so far in this season. But we get a lot of unexpected character development from her, like a lot of it. And seeing her further progress her goal for I is really cool. Watching them release a new original song under the B Komachi moniker is really cool too. That date that Aqua had was kind of funny, G. Like, this nigga Aqua was smooth, boy. He played the whole day like a G. This nigga is the Eisen of dates, my nigga, because he had everything covered. I think a meteor could have smacked them niggas. He would have found a backup plan that made that shit smooth for, like, Aqua really did his shit. He really a pimp for real. But like I said earlier, we gotta talk about Akane, because, man, she held this nigga Aqua down, knowing that he manipulated her. Like, that's so wild. Like, I don't want to sound toxic, but shorty real. Like, bro, when Aqua asked her what would she do if she found out that he was only acting to kill someone, and then she locked in, looked at that nigga and said, I helped you kill them, I was like, yo, I need her, folks. Like, what you mean? She raw for that one. Like, that's real ride of that woman right there, folks. That's a real one. And man, I'm still thinking about that bridge scene, bro. Oshi no Ko got some nerve doing this shit. When Aqua was leaning over that bridge and Akane reached over and hugged them from behind and said, this is where you saved me, Man, what the like, yo, this show so wrong, bro. Excuse me, nigga. Man, that's such a raw way to like repurpose that iconic ass scene. Like, this shit was so crazy on the first watch. I had to stand up. Like, real shit. I had to. And then right when you thought this nigga Aqua was home free and he was on his way to a happy ending, Akane dropped the damn bombshell and letting us know that his father was still alive. And she didn't tell him. I'm like, damn. So he gonna figure out eventually. And then when Ruby visited Ai's grave and Big Aqua walked past her ass, I was like, damn, we're cooked. It's over. But towards the tail end of the trip, I kind of like how Aqua was like, I gotta cuff her. Like, she too real, bro. I gotta hold her down. And gangsta, I feel you, folks. Shout out to Aqua for being a real nigga right there. The trip itself definitely built up a lot of hype for the next season, too, because they pretty much just set the play in motion completely of everything I was thinking. We knew that they were going to have some desire to, like, reconnect with each other's, like, past self, like, the person they were in the past life. And it's looking like it's about that time. It's looking like it. Because when Ruby seen the dead body of that doctor and grabbed that keychain, I knew it's only up from here. I really wonder who that little girl is, though, and what's, like, her significance in the story and what does she represent. She was dropping hella hints. And she seemed like a omnipotent type of thing. Like, only, like, Ruby and Aqua see her. And then when she was shooting her scene in that music video in the water, and then they recreated, like, the little kid Aqua scene from the first episode, and she turned and showed that cold, evil look in her eyes, I'm not gonna lie. That hyped me up for sure, nigga. The Chicago nigga in me loves that energy. Loves it. Double down at the shrine, bro. Yes, sir, bro. I love how they ended the season with the actual music video, too, bro. Like, I really love what they did with this whole season. And the song was fire, too, by the way. I really love that song. And they teased us by showing their dad literally smoking someone else, too, bro. Like, we got some shit in store for us next season, man. And I'm not gonna lie. If they find a way to make this next season better than this one, this might be one of my favorite anime of all time. Like, no bullshit. But that's all for me, man. As always, man, I hope y'all have a great day, man. Love y'all, man. Peace.
Sometimes we seem to disagree. Pray that you protect her and increase my sympathy. I'm a mini you, one day I'll have a mini me. I'm your son, I shouldn't treat you like an enemy. I get annoyed when you